They were doing it again, shining the lights in my face, and then cut them off. When I started, they realized I was recording. Then this one's coming out. They're out of control as they've been years.
Turn right onto Stemmons Trail, then turn...
I mean, these cars are like a parade. And then immediately when I get my tablet, they leave. See that person standing? It's always someone outside everywhere I go. Hello, how are you today?
Hi, good.
Okay, that's good. I have some strange experiences here. I came and I stayed here, and then I booked a room. And then when I booked the room, they took all my things out, and then said I didn't book the room. And then when I came back, they took all my things out of the room, and then threw my food away. It was around, because I've been fighting for my life for a while, and I'm trying to do my own investigation work, because I just haven't had a lot of investigation from law enforcement. So anyway, so I booked the room, and then I left and came back, and then they had threw my food away and took my belongings out the room when I had thought...
When was that?
It was, I have it recorded. It was, let me get the date for you. Just one moment. Like in 2020. Around like February. So what happened was the government was blacklisting me from all hotels in this area because it was around the FBI. So that is conspiracy to violate civil rights crimes. That's criminal. They have no right to entice businesses to conspire with their criminal activity because they're committing crimes and they don't want me next to the FBI, near the FBI.
2020?
Yes. But see, I'm forced to do my own law enforcement, so I wanted to know if you have any records of anything. She lied and said that I said there was a lot of napkins placed in front of the door. And I reported it because the government sets up slip hazards for me with no consequences. So I reported...
Really sorry, our owners bought this hotel in 2021.
Okay.
Newly. So you have an issue with the old owners.
Oh, okay. Well, don't worry about it. I'm just trying to get a resolution to the crimes that were committed. The government has enticed people to be conspirators in their crime and deprived me of hotel stays in a multitude of areas. So I'd like to give you my YouTube channel. If they entice you to do that, that is criminal, conspiracy to violate civil rights, and they've gotten away with it for years. So let me give you my YouTube channel so you can see what they've done with no consequences. One moment. Hello, I see you with your mask on. Do you have a pool in here?
We don't have pool.
Okay, did you ever have a pool?
We ever had pool.
Oh, but you no longer have the pool.
It's no longer.
Okay, well, there was some weird activity here. I stayed here a while back, and the government was trying to blacklist me from all hotel stays in this area, and I'm trying to incriminate them so they can get their charges. Conspiracy to violate civil rights is a crime. So when I came here, they told me that I couldn't extend my hotel stay, as they've done at dozens of hotel stays. Police used to actually come in person and interrupt. But I stayed here, and they said that I couldn't stay here because the police said I couldn't, but they didn't give me details.
Yeah, if you had the same problem, I can't let you stay.
I'm not being heard. If law enforcement conspiracy to violate civil rights is a crime, nothing happened.
If it's not about the civil...
You don't know who I am, supposedly, with your mask on? We're not addressing the issue?
Okay, because you are telling something that, that nobody else talk. When they come here, nobody else talk about it. Once I see your ID, and that's when I can...
Okay, let's see the ID. Let's see it.
Okay. Yeah, you don't talk to me about Constitution, okay, ma'am?
Well, I just want people to know...
Don't talk to me about that.
Don't talk to you about what?
I'm not a constitutional scholar, but I have some knowledge about Constitution, okay?
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
Yeah, my regular customers or whoever the regular people, when they come here, they don't talk about laws or anything, okay? So, don't try to intimidate me.
Oh, did someone tell you to behave like this because I was deprived of services? Why don't you have compassion? Can I show you my YouTube channel?
Don't worry, don't. See, you are starting something.
I'm starting something.
End up good. Yes.
I'm starting something because I told you police were committing crimes? And you have your mask on and gloves?
Hey, that's what I do.
Okay, well, go ahead. Yeah. There's my ID.
I don't pass the germs. I don't take
Yeah, because police entice people to be abusive, psychologically abusive and emotionally abusive. When I go in this environment, you have to see it to believe it. They have no compassion for child abuse and all kinds of other crimes that I tried to report for COVID. Okay.
Yeah, you cannot stay here.
Okay, why not?
Well, you are on do not rent list, okay?
Yeah, and that's committing crimes, so why am I on the do not rent list?
Because there must be something wrong. And
I'm trying to inform you.
Yeah,
I'm trying to inform you that nothing happened. I reported a crime to the police, and then.
You report everything that you're supposed to report.
But I don't understand why I'm not on a do not list rent
I
list.
have no idea.
Because the
I'm not
police
the
have
one who
committed
put it
crimes, a
there.
multitude of crimes like this.
Well,
So
when
why
you-
would you enforce it and we don't know why I'm on the list?
When you stayed here last time, whenever, then you have give them a problem, okay?
Okay, that's slander, sir. I did not give anyone a problem. I'm telling you that the police keep repetitively setting me up for people to deprive me of services year after year. So each place I went, they deprived me of services, and then for no reason. So that is violating my civil rights if I go to place to place to place and they deprive me of services like they did before COVID.
Ma'am, you are on do not rent list, okay? Where you have stayed here before and you have caused some problems.
I didn't. That's slander, sir.
Yeah, because I
That's a
was
blatant
not here.
lie. I didn't cause problems. All I
Yeah.
did was report a
The
crime to
only
the
reason
police.
you are on
That
this-
Baymont scheme to deprive me of services, lying with the police department, is criminal.
Yeah, only reason you are on this list because you have.
I'm not being
created
heard
some
say
problem.
that's
Okay.
slander.
Yeah,
That's a blatant lie, sir.
Yeah,
Only thing that I
know.
did was report a crime to the police. If you're
Ma'am,
conspiring with the
report
police to violate my
crime
civil rights,
to-
it's criminal.
Yeah.
What's your name?
My name is Daniel.
Daniel.
Yes.
Okay, so if the police are enticing you to slander me like they've done a lot of other people, you guys need your charges. They didn't want me to be over here by the FBI, so they enticed all these locations to scheme to deprive me of services like they have years before COVID. And you guys need your charges because it is criminal to scheme to deprive me of my rights to stay at a multitude of hotels like they've done for years. Let me give you my YouTube channel
Okay,
because I
please.
hope you to pick up your charges.
Okay, ma'am.
So the police used to come personally and remove me from hotel rooms. Now they want the hotels to conspire with their crimes and lie and slander me and deprive me of services for profit.
Okay, ma'am.
And they've been getting away with it years with no consequences. How long have you been here? How long have you worked here? Oh, okay. You want to call? The government has been terrorizing me for a long time. So I was fighting for my life when I came over here in this area. And a lot of hotels were scheming to deprive me of services or flat out to deprive me of services. I can't get law enforcement. So I came here and there was a problem with my room. In hotels, a lot of them would deliberately create chaos in the rooms to where I would have to report things going on in the room and then deprive me of services. I'm sorry?
Let me call to the manager in front of me.
You gotta call the manager.
Yeah, he's in the backside.
I haven't told you why I haven't told you what the issue was. What is the manager going to do?
I just came right now. I don't know what.
Okay, okay, let's see how this goes. Let's see. So he was on the phone when I got here. So I don't know how they're doing it, but they tell them what to do to have people enforce their crimes. The government is railroading me and blacklisting me from services at a multitude of locations, as you can see on this channel. So there was a massive amount of conspiracy to violate civil rights, crimes, deprived of hotel stays, medical treatment, all kinds of things that went under the radar before COVID. This mentally ill man thought he was going to control every avenue every step that I took, and he was. Criminal trespasses from restaurants, hotels. So in Dallas, I'm blacklisted from a lot of services. I'm sorry?
He'll be here in 2 minutes.
2 minutes, okay. Let's see how this goes. So they even have these people slander blatant lies to deprive me of services as they did before COVID. Sometimes they even have them slander and create arrest, detain me. Just have them blatantly lie like she did at Metro PCS. I'll put it in my feed. And they would actually set me up. The hotel staff and the police department would set me up with no consequences. Days Inn just told me they were full. They're full. They lie and say they're full. Conventions, shelters. Hello, how are you? How long you been here? You look kind of familiar. You been here a while? Been here a while? Yeah, because you look kind of familiar. Yes, you guys eventually gave me a phone, but I had an issue with my phone a while back. I'll give you my YouTube channel. The government has been conspiring with a multitude of parties to violate my civil rights out of criminal activity. And I do want you to know that what they're enticing people to do is a crime. So I came here a while ago. You do look familiar. I believe I did deal with you. Okay, so there was an issue with my phone, and then the lady was about to put me out. I said, ma'am, if you're requiring that I have a phone not work, I don't have to stay here. And then she said that she was going to put me out, and then when some other people witnessed and came out the room, and my TV didn't work. So the TV didn't work and the phone didn't work. So these are the things that issues that a lot of hotels create. And then when I say, look, the TV isn't working or whatever, they use that as an avenue to put me out in the scheme. That's what the government has enlisted for these parties to do. But I just wanted to get clarity on why when I stayed here and I told her my phone didn't work and she told me I had to leave until witnesses came out. You gave me a phone eventually. You were nice, you fixed the TV and you gave me a phone. But had that not happened, I'm afraid that since those witnesses came out, if that would have not happened, I would have been put out like I was in schemes at a lot of hotels in this avenue. So if the police is enticing you to commit crimes with them, I want you to see my YouTube channel because they enlist a lot of conspirators in their criminal activity. Conspiracy to violate civil rights is criminal. They're enticing people to commit crimes and they have been for years. So here's a channel that you can take a look at. Shelter had put me out and I was fighting for my life. And then I came to Best Western as well as a multitude of other locations and they would not even let me pay for a hotel stay. And a lot of other hotels are enforcing these crimes that I don't get hotel stays at their hotels out of criminal activity. So I don't do anything wrong because the police department wants me to be my rights to be sabotaged. They entice these businesses to commit crimes with them and deprive me of my rights of stays and at restaurants. So you can take a look at that. You did correct the issue, but like I said, if there was a witness when it came out, I'm not sure what that lady would have done. The lady, is it your wife? I remember you. You fixed the TV and you gave me another phone, but it was a lady that was putting me out because my phone didn't work. The phone and the TV didn't work. And that's a pattern. A lot of hotels, you got to see it to believe it, would purposely create problems for me to report and then use that as a scheme to deny me services. The government enlists people in their criminal activity and they've been getting away with it years. But anyway, if you don't remember the woman, you did give me another you fixed the TV and you did give me another phone. But she was about to put me out because the phone didn't work and it's happened at a multitude of locations. They create problems and then when I report it, they use that as an avenue to deny me services altogether in schemes as they've done years. So I was just trying to get to the bottom of it. Law enforcement is denied. They do that at law enforcement agencies. They give me criminal trespasses so they can deprive me of law enforcement. You can see it all there. They enforce child abuse, all kinds of crimes, embezzlement. I mean, they lost their ever loving mind with no consequences. But you can check it out. You got it resolved. I just didn't understand why she was going to put me out because the phone didn't work. Because they've done it at a multitude of other locations. They did it on Northwest Highway at the Marriott. The phone didn't work, and I told them my life was in jeopardy. I needed a phone, and she threatened to put me out for requesting a phone that worked and would not give me another phone. My phone kept malfunctioning, and the police went to investigate that. But anyway, okay, you have that information. Thank you for correcting the issue. I'm forced to do my own law enforcement. I think that they're bribing these businesses and enforcing their criminal activity on citizens, and they need to be held accountable. Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm trying to go to the police department and my phone is malfunctioning. It does not want me to go to the police department. It's not giving me an avenue to search for the directions. It does this all the time. My phone is controlled. So they don't want me to have access to the police department to enforce the crimes that they've set up and deprive me of law enforcement for. So I have to fiddle with my phone with all these technical glitches they set up to enforce crimes. May I have your badge number? All right, 11010. Okay, I just want to check on the status of a report. I have some really strange events over here. There's multiple hotel staff that blatantly lied on me to sabotage service there, which I told the police to investigate and look at the camera footage because a lot of them just blatantly lied, sabotaging my hotel stays. It happened repetitively. Okay. Just blatant lies by hotel staff.
Do you have any sort of report number or anything?
I don't. I'd like to give you my name, and because I feel like it's violating my constitutional rights when a multitude of people lie on me and slander me so I couldn't get services at a multitude of locations. Okay, see, I was fighting for my life, and I was forced into homelessness. Okay. And some kind of way I couldn't get housing, period, okay, as well as hotel stays.
Let me log into the system.
Okay, okay. I'll give you my information.
Recent sort of encounters the police department, the Dallas Police Department has had with you has been for...
it was 20, I'm concerned about...
That's the most recent activity.
I'm not being heard. I wanted to concentrate on the hotel stays, me being deprived of my constitutional rights for all these hotels around here, which I reported to the police department.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's what that happened around February of 2020. I was fighting for my life. Okay, so all the hotels, slandered, a multitude of hotels just blatantly lied, and it's been happening a long time. Blatant lies, saying that they're full. So I was terrified for my life. I could not get a shelter, period. They did the same thing. For some reason, these people would blatantly lie, which was what I reported to the police. And I'm here to see what happened with that. That's why I'm here.
Okay. If you weren't given any sort of report number,
You just looked. You just looked.
yes, ma'am. I looked, and like I said, the only in our report writing system, that's if we make an arrest from it. So as of, in 2019 is the most recent encounters we've had with you where an arrest was made.
Where was the arrest made?
Yes. So you had a warrant out for your arrest in 2019.
Where? When?
I'd have to go into the report and look at it, but I mean I can give you that report number.
Yeah, I want to know what the warrant. Okay, and I'd like to do a police report.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, on what I already reported that's now missing. So I'd like to do a police report to do an investigation on why these hotels in this area are blatantly lying on me and have been for years, as well as a multitude of other locations.
Okay. Do you have addresses for the hotels?
I can get that with my phone, and then I have it on my YouTube channel because there's so many of them. I've been reporting it for years, but some kind of way I've slipped the cracks a multitude of locations. I don't understand why a multitude of people blatantly lied. They even blatantly lied on me at Salvation Army that cost me my freedom. Blatant lies. They said that I was blocking traffic, and I told the police to investigate it because there was no way possible I could have been blocking traffic. I was sitting at Salvation Army's courtyard. Police wouldn't review the camera footage, but I don't know why a multitude of people will cost me my freedom. That is a crime for them to do that, but some kind of way it's not getting investigated for years. But yes, we can see about the what you have, the arrest, and then I can go ahead and do the report to get an investigation on why a multitude of people lie and slander me with no consequences. Okay.
Ms. Clark, can I ask you just a few questions?
Yes, may I help you?
Yes, ma'am. I called 911 although these people are chasing me and stuff, but after I talked
Okay,
to
I
them,
record my interaction with the
I was
police.
going back
I'd like to
the
concentrate
train
on why I
station.
came here first, and then we can go into that.
Okay.
Is that okay? Okay, well, let's concentrate on why I came here, and then I can show you my YouTube channel. I think that a lot of law enforcement need to be on medication, but let's go ahead and concentrate on why I came here. That police tried to set me up at Motel 6 too until witnesses came out. Are you behind the lies and slander? Are you enticing these businesses, the police department, to commit these crimes?
No, ma'am.
Oh, okay, well, good. So let's concentrate on the reason why I'm here, and then we can talk about you can set me up later. So let's go ahead and talk about why I came here.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. You guys set me up for years, which is criminal. I'm sorry?
Do you have the addresses for me?
You're looking at, you said I had an arrest in 2019. I want to see what crime you guys concocted. So can you tell me about the arrest that you saw?
I explained to you. It was from a warrant you had out for your arrest.
What is the warrant?
I'd have to go into.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking you about.
Okay.
Go ahead. You don't want me to know?
I'll get it.
Okay, let's get that, and then we'll move from there.
You're kind of going back and forth here. Originally,
I think you're going back and forth. Let's just concentrate on one thing at a time.
You wanted to give, before you pulled out your tablet, you stated you would give me the addresses and.
Yeah, but I want to see what you've concocted for the warrant. Is that okay if we do that? Because it's like you're getting confused. Okay, I'll go ahead and let you do that.
While I'm doing that, can you find your addresses?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So the police asked me for the address, and my phone does not want to update the address. This is what it has. Excuse me, sir. What happens when law enforcement repetitively sets someone up with false arrest and slander?
You can talk to another officer.
Oh, you don't want me to know when you're an officer?
Yeah.
Huh. So all these police are standing around. They have some upper officials that entice these people to commit crimes at all locations, even the police department. So if it is a good cop, they have people that intimidate good people, enforcing criminal activity on all parties, including police. That's how they did it at church, standing and giving church members intimidation tactics, as well as with my apartment complex. It's insane. So I came here to get a status of the report. As they've done years, they try to set me up and tamper with evidence with no consequences. They have no right to blacklist me from all hotels over here because it's close to the FBI. And that's what they're doing out of corruption, and it is criminal, and they need their charges. And to enforce their crimes, they can repetitively set me up, arrest, and have even assaulted me with no consequences for years. It's taking you a long time to just get that arrest that you said you saw. Okay.
The officers, squad cars, so they can get out and patrol.
Okay, so out of all this time, you told me I had an arrest and you don't want me a warrant and you don't want me to know what it's about, and you spent all this time? Because well, I'm not really safe with the police. They try to set me up.
Okay, I'll be right back to help you, ma'am.
Okay, he was there all that time at the computer and he said that I had a warrant and didn't want to tell me about it and deflected on the very purpose why I'm here, being blacklisted from services at a multitude of locations. If someone's enticing these people to deprive me of my rights, that's criminal. So we have all these officers. I have no clue what's going on. I know there's a lot of intimidation and mob-like mentality from the government. So we have all these police, and I don't know why these people commit crimes openly. Okay.
So, as I told you, I would look up those numbers for you, and I'll explain them.
Okay.
So there's a line separated between 3 case numbers. The top 2 is where you were listed as a suspect only.
Okay.
On a criminal trespass warning. In the bottom where it says arrested, that is, and that's the report number. You were arrested for your Dallas police warrants on 6/6 of 2019.
June 6th. I don't. When would that happen? Where?
So it happened on June 6, 2019, in some part of Dallas.
But you don't know where.
Correct. I don't know where. I do not. So, but I told you I would get them for you. There those numbers are for you.
Okay, well, I need to do the report because that you lost and you just want to concentrate on this criminal trespass. So you spend a lot of time in the police department and you don't know what it's for and where it's at?
Well, I had to look it up, man.
This is odd. So you wanted me to be aware of a criminal trespass and you're a police department and you have no evidence or any information on what happened with this criminal trespass?
No, ma'am, I was not.
And you don't know a location of where it was at?
No, I don't.
Does that really make sense?
I didn't look into your report.
Oh, well, that would make sense if you find out where it's at. If there's some kind of mysterious criminal trespass with no education, no location, and no information on it, that's kind of
it would be in Dallas.
Insane for us to know. Well, I need to know where the criminal trespass is at so I know I can't be there.
Well, it was dated back in 2019, and our criminal trespass warrants, they don't go past 30 or 60 days.
Oh, for all of the Dallas Metroplex area?
No. Not the Metroplex. Dallas only.
Oh, Dallas. So Dallas, they have lied to me at a multitude of locations to try to make me think that I have criminal trespasses at a multitude of locations. That's what I'm reporting today.
I don't know if anyone has lied to you.
Well, that's why I'm reporting today. We can do an investigation to see what's going on because conspiracy to violate civil rights is criminal. So I would like to know where this criminal trespass is. I have a right to know if there was a warrant issued for me on 6/6/2019 to know where it was at. That would be common sense.
You can make an open record.
You just look, sir. You spent all that time looking and you don't want me to know where this criminal trespass was issued?
It was issued on the dates I wrote right.
Right. I'd like to know what location, sir.
They're in the report, man.
So you just looked on the computer and you do not want me to know where this criminal trespass was, where it happened at?
You can do an open record.
Okay, well, I like to report the conspiracy to violate civil rights crimes. I like to do a report now that I'm at the police department.
Okay, so
The one that we
you wanna
can't
do
find?
2 reports now.
I'm sorry.
You want to do 2 reports now?
Yes, the one that you can't find, and then these mysterious criminal trespasses all over the place.
I said I couldn't
Before
find
COVID.
any report.
I reported to the police that Baymont basically lied on me.
So
As
in suites.
yes, staff
Okay.
lied, and it was caught on camera footage,
Okay, so
and they deprived me of services 2 times prior.
okay. Well, hold on. So let's go back. So Baymont Inn and Suites.
Right.
Do you know their address?
And they have different owners. Let me go into that. But yeah, that's what you can't find. That's why I'm here. To get down to the bottom of why I'm blacklisted from shelter at a multitude of locations, even hotel stays. They'd helped you, but okay, that address is 2380 West Northwest Highway, Dallas, Texas 75220. Initially, they told me that the police said that I had to get a criminal trespass because I reported to the police the crime that Baymont committed. So the next day, they deprived me of extending my stay and said that the police said it. Okay, so now they have concocted.
Well, hold on.
So now they have concocted that it was my bad behavior, which is a blatant lie.
Okay, so let's pause.
Let's pause,
So,
okay? Let's pause.
Baymont Inn and Suites are 2380 West Northwest Highway.
That is Motel 6. Motel 6.
Did you already purchase?
Motel 6 is a 2380 Northwest Highway. Baymont also schemed. In fact, a multitude.
So Motel 6 is the.
And a lot of hotels over here have schemed to deprive me of services, and I wanted us to get down to the bottom of why.
Focus on Baymont and Suites as well?
I'm sorry?
Would you like to give me the address to Baymont?
Yes, but they have new owners. They said that they don't have the information.
Okay.
Hello. Tampering with evidence again, which is a felony. Well, you don't have a choice when your people are committing crimes, enforcing crimes. Using,
1 second, Ms. Clark.
yeah, using intimidation tactics, using right care to enforce criminal activity. So they're trying to set me up with right care, mental health treatment to enforce their crimes, as they've done years. They actually detain me, they assault me, and enforce these crimes. Because they did it. They set up the crimes. They can't investigate themselves. They're the ones having these people commit these crimes with no consequences. I don't understand why police get to rack up these felonies with no consequences. He's clearly committing a crime. They don't get to call right care out for years to enforce criminal activity. What would make him think that I need right care as well as the other officer that was committing a crime at Motel 6? How many times are you guys going to get away with felonies with no consequences? There has been assaults and multiple arrests. Why don't right care take the government's corruption and crimes and the child abuse? So yeah, let me give you evidence of my daughter's abuse to your right care, and you have a requirement to report suspected child abuse. And the government has been enforcing my daughter's abuse. So let's go over that.
How can I help you?
Yeah, I wanted you to see how the government has been enforcing my daughter's child abuse. You're a social worker. What's your name?
My name is Shanitra. I'm with the Right Care team.
Okay, well, let me show you how the government has been enforcing my daughter's child abuse and the multiple slander and that I've had from the government. Hold on. Are you trying to tamper with evidence and prevent me from reporting the crimes that are happening to me?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I need a police report number, and you brought right care like all police departments do out of corruption. I was doing a police report with you, and you're tampering with evidence, sabotaging that report with right care.
Statements before, and now I have an address. I can file a report.
Yeah, I need the report number. We haven't completed it because you committed a crime by calling right care out to enforce criminal activity. You committed a crime, a felony crime, sending right care out to sabotage my report.
Ma'am, Right Care doesn't enforce any.
Oh, he did. So let's go ahead and complete this report, and then I can talk to right care.
Okay, ma'am. What date and time were you at 2380?
So Motel 6 said that the police told them to deprive me of services.
At what date?
That was February. I have it on my YouTube channel. Let me give you the YouTube channel. Keyana Clark, CLARK, Peace, PEACE. And you can have evidence of a multitude of hotels lying and slandering me, as well as shelters blatantly lies to sabotage me from services.
Okay, but you said it was sometime in February.
Right. I've already reported it, but they're still trying to keep me from services. And you said they only last 30 days, but these hotels are still enforcing crimes.
Do you have a specific date in February, ma'am?
February of 2020.
The date, like February.
I don't have the exact date. It's on my YouTube channel. I don't have it from memory. But here's the thing, if they only last 30 days, they're trying to enforce the criminal trespasses forever. They're not aware that they only last 30 days.
Okay, well, I will get you a report number, and in the meantime, just...
It's like people are freshly calling these people to enforce crimes. So can you tell them that they only last 30 days in these churches that try to enforce criminal trespasses for profit or whatever's going on? Okay, so you're a social worker?
Yes, ma'am.
You do have a state requirement to report suspected child abuse, right?
I work with the.
You still, as a state worker, if you don't report suspected child abuse, you commit a crime.
No, I don't.
You do. If you don't, as a state worker, I think you have integrity issues. Because if you want to cover for child abuse, I don't really think I see a need to speak with you.
Ma'am, if I go into a home and I suspect some type of child abuse, then yes, I can report that. But there is a hotline if you need to report anything. I can give you that hotline.
You're not following protocol. You're committing a crime right now. So I don't think that you have integrity issues.
How can we help you?
There's nothing you can do because you're committing a crime. If you're covering for suspected child abuse, that's a Class A misdemeanor and some circumstances a felony.
How can I help you?
I want to report child abuse. If I get someone as a social worker that I can report child abuse, I'll wait.
Okay. But
Get someone, I'm reporting, this is the police department. You can report child abuse unless the government's behind it.
you want to give me the information? That's a CPS concern, but you want to give me the information?
Yes, it's on YouTube. Let me give you the YouTube channel. I got a citation for reporting child abuse. And you can see how the police bully me and enforce my daughter's
Would you
abuse.
like to go to the hospital?
With you? Because if you're committing a crime, if you enforce child abuse, I think you need to go to the hospital. Ma'am, I think you need to go to the. Are you trying to intimidate me for reporting my daughter's abuse?
No, I'm not trying
Is the
to
government
intimidate you.
behind it? Why I get bullied for reporting my daughter's abuse for years and detained and arrested in intimidation
Would you like
tactics?
your vitals checked?
No, you're committing crimes right now. Is there? What's so funny, sir?
With me?
Do you have a child?
Would you like
Do you
to
have a
complete
child?
an assessment with me?
Okay. Do you have a sister? If someone enforced your abuse or your sister's abuse, would you care? If someone enforced your abuse or your sister's abuse, your niece's abuse, would you care?
Ms. Clark, we're trying to help you.
You can't be helping me committing crimes. I want you to get your charges. So let's concentrate on the child abuse. Let me show you evidence. Because you commit a crime when you don't report suspected child abuse with your position. I'm not quite sure you're aware. Not reporting suspected child abuse is a Class A misdemeanor, in some circumstances a felony. I'm not quite sure why law enforcement would want to enforce that on me and slander me with mental illness to enforce my daughter's abuse. I think you need to get some help and go to a hospital, as well as the other conspirators that want to frame me with mental illness for reporting child abuse.
What hospital would you like to go
I'm
to?
asked to. I think you need to go. So let me report the suspected child abuse. Are you trying to intimidate me for trying to report the abuse of my
No,
child?
ma'am.
Okay, well, let's concentrate on the child abuse, ma'am. You're committing a crime right now. So let me report the child abuse because you're committing crimes right now. I think the government is behind my daughter's abuse. Let me show you the crimes, ma'am, so you can see what happened when I was reporting my daughter's child abuse. I think the government's behind it, which is why you're trying to set me up. You guys have gotten away with this madness for years, so let me give you a recording of how the government has been enforcing my daughter's abuse for profit with no consequences.
I'm good. How are you?
Fine. May I have your name? Okay.
Yes, how may I help you?
Okay. So I reported child abuse to the court, and I don't understand why a judge would write in the order that no contact.
Okay, what's your case number, ma'am?
I just here at my court date from criminal activity. This is a family court. The family court, multiple parties couldn't get that we can't talk on the phone. They put it in the order out of malice, no text, no contact, period. And they have no earthly idea why they did it. That is a felony, even if all these parties want to be conspirators in it. It's a felony. And they're so crooked. It's criminal the way that this proceeding went. So they just want to ignore it. The other judge, Kim Cook and Beecham or something like that, they had time to think about what they did. So they withdrew from the experience and then blamed it on another judge, Mary Murphy. Because why would a judge terminate someone's parental rights? I'm still on hold. She thinks I'm still on hold. Why would a judge terminate someone's parental rights, deprive them of any contact on the phone, anything with their child? In addition to the crime that's being broken for me to have no access to my child, I'm on supervised visits and they're depriving me of that out of criminal activity. Since they're abusing government resources, they entice the place with the supervised visits not to give them to me and the dad. Whatever they're doing with the dad, they're enticing all these parties to be conspirators. So for all this time, I cannot see my child. They did it to another child. They went up to the school and did a criminal trespass to prevent me from having access. So this is who I reported it to at the Demetra Brown.
This is Demetra Brown. How can I help you?
Oh, did I meet with you last time? I reported the child abuse and gave you the paperwork?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so why would the court ignore child abuse and corruption? That I still haven't had a response, and I thought child abuse would be time sensitive. I don't understand why they deprived me of my right to go to court 2 times and then took my child custody rights away when I wasn't even present and didn't even do an investigation and deprived me from legal representation. I can't get one because it's corruption. Behind my situation, I've tried to pay a family attorney and they won't represent me out of corruption. I'm targeted. I tried to tell you guys that. I have evidence of it. I told you that I had the false arrest and the caseworker made a false statement to the family court. Then the family court let him disappear like he never existed. But there was a blatant lie. The family court was fully aware that James Hastings was involved. And once multiple parties incriminated themselves, they allowed James Hastings to disappear so he wouldn't be incriminated. But hindering a child custody agreement is a felony, even if all these parties want to be involved in it. These are clear-cut felonies, ma'am. I've been trying to address it to multiple different parties for years. So if I reported child abuse, what was that, 2 or 3 weeks ago to you? Why has the court not responded to child abuse? You there, ma'am? So the government for profit is sabotaging my rights as a parent, which happens to be criminal. So they give me tickets and send out people like you for right care to intimidate and enforce my daughter's abuse. Now I don't know what idiot would think that you can terrorize a parent to not trying to protect their own child. Obviously, they need to see you. I don't care. You can murder me, and I still will fight for my child. The intimidation tactics, the slander, the assaults is not enough for me to not care about my child. So all the conspirators in this, you guys need to see right here.
Okay, so Ms. Clark, I'm sorry that you're going through so much, but it sounds like you've already reported whatever child abuse.
There's no resolutions, ma'am. You just heard child abuse and you're committing another crime.
I heard you speaking with the lady from the courts.
You heard that they were committing crimes and they would not investigate child. So you're committing a crime, and I'll go help you guys get your charges. You came here to tamper with evidence.
How your child was abused.
I'm sorry?
You haven't reported
September 24, 2011, she had bruises. Then she was not in the dad's, was not around the dad.
2011?
I'm telling you, give me time. Okay. So she was not around the dad for a while. He had a stroke and then he came back into her life around the end of 2016. So he was there sporadically. So then in February of 2018, my daughter said that the stepmom, which was the same one that had the bruises on her 2011, sat on her where she couldn't breathe and whipped her with the metal part of the belt. The government for profit, James Hastings and a multitude of other parties covered for it because they were taking bribes and didn't want me to have access to my child and committed crimes. James Hastings out of Hillsborough, Texas, and a multitude of other conspirators, as well as yourself, was reinforcing my daughter's abuse for profit. So then after that happened, she reported.
Back in 2016?
I'm still telling you.
Okay.
Then after that, April 19th of 2022, she reported abuse for another party. CPS, as well as all law enforcement, has been enforcing my daughter's abuse for profit, as well as yourself. So now they don't want me to be around my child, knowing full blown well that there's child abuse for profit, as well as yourself. So you have a responsibility, or you commit a crime if you do not report the abuse of my child.
When there is abuse, I do report it.
Okay, well, you just heard about abuse. Let me give you my YouTube channel.
You told me about abuse in 2011.
You're covering for it, ma'am. You're committing a crime because there is a pattern of abuse and the government is enforcing crimes.
You said you've already reported that.
I'm reporting it to you now, ma'am. It's like you need to see right here. I'm not being heard. I'm reporting. Are you trying to keep my daughter in abuse as a social worker? That's a crime, ma'am.
Ma'am, it looks like she's already been removed from the abusive situation from what you showed me and what you
No, the stepmom, she's still living with the stepmom. I don't know why people commit crimes and try to cover for enforced child abuse, which is criminal.
The courts placed her with the stepmom.
Oh, okay. So what's your name?
Shanitra.
Right, care team. You committed a crime. I hope you get your felony. You're not reporting suspected child abuse for your position is a crime. The government is enforcing my daughter's abuse, and that's what they want.
Would you like to be assessed?
No, I'd like for you to get your charges. You guys have railroaded me and committed these crimes long enough. I need to report her crime, sir. What's your name?
Do you want your...
Not reporting suspected child abuse is a crime. She won't take the report, so let me give it to you. By you guys turning your back like you've done for years enforcing my daughter's abuse is criminal. What's that right there?
It's your report from a couple months ago that you did at South Central substation. I don't know if you still have the report number, but this is that report number.
I'm reporting child abuse today.
Yes, ma'am. So I reviewed this report that an officer did at the front desk of South Central. And in an effort to save time, basically the same claims you're making today, you made the same claims on August 7th of 2022 this year.
What was done if I reported child abuse?
The report.
Where's the investigator?
I don't know. He's probably backed up.
Backed up from August and child abuse? That's a crime.
Maybe.
When you reported this to South Central, did you give a phone number?
I'm just stating if I reported child abuse in August and it's almost November.
Did you give a phone number?
Yeah. That's a clear-cut crime. You need to report that over to the FBI.
Can you give me your cell phone number?
Yeah, because you need that. I reported child abuse in August, and then right care came out to commit a crime to enforce my daughter's abuse. You need to report this over to the FBI.
Okay. Can you provide me with your phone number, please?
Yes.
If not, this is what I will do. Now that you've reestablished recording, I want to make sure you have it on video recording.
Yes.
Whatever. So, I have your phone number.
Okay. No, because people try to go over my phone number so I can get these prank calls. So are you not going? Okay, do
I'm
you
gonna
have?
explain it.
Okay,
But in an effort for privacy, I'll leave your phone.
okay,
Are you recording?
yes.
Okay. So I'm going to make sure your personal cell phone is in this report.
Okay.
And if it's not, I'm still going to do a report tonight stating everything you told me. And I'm going to make sure to put your cell phone number in this report so that a detective, whenever they
I've been reporting it for years. The government's
whenever they-
enforcing my
whenever they
daughter's
assign,
abuse, which is
they'll
what I'm
reach
trying to
out to you.
communicate. I'm not being heard.
Okay.
You can see it on my YouTube
So
channel.
As I just told you.
Yeah, I'm not being heard. So the government is enforcing my daughter's abuse.
Okay. So as I told you.
So you have, if I reported it in August, if I report, hello, hold on. I'm trying to tell you what happened. Are you covering for it?
No, ma'am.
Is the government enforcing my daughter's abuse for
So
profit?
I will go ahead and give you this report number.
Okay, but I'm trying to let you know if they sent it, if that was done in August, why has not an investigation not been done for child abuse?
I don't know, ma'am. I don't have the ability.
Well, then you need to report it to CPS or you commit a crime.
Okay.
I don't understand why these people are jeopardizing their livelihood to enforce my 13-year-old's abuse and enforce interference with child custody crimes, which is criminal.
Yes,
They
ma'am.
have
So
racked up a lot of
I've
felonies. When are they
provided
going to get the
I
consequences?
provided you with the report number for tonight that I will do. I provided you with.
Are they going to get an investigation? Because they didn't do it in August and it's almost November. And this is child sensitive. In fact, I've done it years and been detained, arrested, and mistreated by trying to report my daughter's abuse.
Someone will reach out to you.
Okay, so regarding me being blacklisted from services, which is a civil rights violation, we haven't gotten down to the bottom of who's telling these people to lie all over the place to deprive me of housing, domestic violence assistance, church, all kinds of places. They're enforcing criminal trespasses. They don't know it's just for 30 days, and they try to enforce it forever.
Well, then that's something that you'll have to take up with their corporate office.
Okay, yeah, so maybe you can contact them and let them know that this criminal trespass is just for 30 days and figure out why a multitude of people are slandering me to deprive me of my constitutional rights.
Okay. All due respect, ma'am, that's not part of my job.
Conspiracy to violate civil rights is crime. Are you behind it? Is that why you don't want to investigate it? Are you telling these people to commit crimes to sabotage my access to locations, as you guys have done years, and then got right care to enforce that crime?
Is there anything else I can do for you this evening?
You're mistaken. Conspiracy to violate civil rights is criminal. You're supposed to investigate that unless you're behind it. So if you're abusing your power and you're enticing these places to bully me and violate me for profit, you need to be held accountable and get the consequences for your crimes. You don't have people entice people to commit crimes with you over and over again, abusing your badge as law enforcement, enticing people to lie and slander me till I'm handcuffed and detained at multiple different locations out of corruption. You are enticing citizens to commit crimes with you, like Red Roof Inn and Salvation Army, with no consequences for that behavior.
Yes,
churches and a multitude of other locations conspire with abuse and other criminal activity from our law enforcement officers.
Okay.
So anyway, we do have this report. Are you depriving me of investigation for those crimes? To see why a multitude of people.
This report this evening.
Okay, so I've been deprived of investigation. Is depriving someone of investigation like what's been done years for 100 and something reports, is that criminal?
I'm sorry?
Depriving a citizen of law enforcement. If there's a conspiracy to violate my civil rights and deprive me of all law enforcement, is that criminal?
I'm sorry, I'm not really understanding what you're
If the government, out of criminal activity, denies me investigation for 100 and something reports, bring right care, arrest me, assault, and violate me, is that criminal out of corruption?
I don't know, ma'am.
Oh, let's get some. You're an officer and you don't know if an officer breaking the law is a crime? So you think that you have a double standard since you're law enforcement, that now that when you violate and act like the mob, that there's no consequences for the law enforcement that does it?
No, ma'am.
So if law enforcement commits crimes, you don't know if it's a crime? So you obviously, if law enforcement could repetitively commits crimes and you don't know if it's a crime because law enforcement is doing it, that seems that you have integrity issues. So I'm going to ask you once again, if when you have your badge on and you commit a crime, is that a crime?
If I have my badge on
And you commit a crime.
commit a crime, is that a crime? By you very asking me that question, the answer is in the question. By it being a crime, which would make it illegal.
Okay.
So you have your answer in the question.
I just want to make sure that you are aware.
Okay.
So if a law enforcement officer is committing a crime, is it criminal?
I've already tried to explain it to you, Ms. Clark.
Okay, so if a law enforcement committing a crime is criminal, who investigates that? Because it hasn't been done for years.
I wish I had the answer for you, but I don't.
Okay, so let me make sure. So it was very hard to get, clarity on your knowledge if an officer committing a crime was criminal. You don't want to say that, which any person with common sense knows that no one is above the law. If anyone commits a crime, it should be a crime, even if you have a badge and gun. Okay? So here's the kicker. Multiple parties have committed multitude of felonies that have badges and guns that haven't racked up any charges. So are you depriving me of any information on how I can report these crimes that law enforcement officers and multitude of government officials have been done? I can't report those crimes to you?
By your very statement of that question, how do I know if they're Dallas police officers? How do I know if they're Texas officers? How do I know if they're...
You can see it all on my YouTube channel, the multitude of locations. But here's the thing. Why is it a black pit for years on how to get these people the consequences for the racked up charges, the charges they have racked up? Why is it a bottomless pit that no one has the answer on how the government can get their felonies?
We need to end this conversation so I can...
Oh, you don't want the government to get their felonies. Okay. So we got to end the conversation.
Well, if you'd like for me to get started on this report.
I just want to know how law enforcement, I can keep them from committing crimes. Law enforcement, they bully me and violate me and try to set me up like they've done. I used to get assaulted and arrested before I started recording. Now they entice other people to take the fall for their abuse. Now they entice businesses like around here. That's why you don't want to investigate it, because you did it. You entice those businesses to lie and slander. And if you investigate them, that will incriminate you. That's why you have lost 100 and something reports. And I'm trying to help you guys get your felonies that you've racked up years. Okay, thank you. Let's see what other crimes you got stacked up now with these gang stalkers on my route. That's another thing. I'm not allowed to call 911 out of corruption. I don't have that right. You won't investigate that either? Oh no, it wasn't a joke. They used to detain and arrest over and over and over again. And sometimes I did not know if I was going to make it out alive dealing with police. It's not a joke. And I got terrorized in jail. The only reason why they're doing better is because I'm recording. Now they're behind these businesses and gang stalkers and all these other people to violate and mistreat. The only thing they're doing now, they're enforcing the psychological abuse. That's why it's escalated in the stores. But no, they